Good morning, YouTube. Today we will be focusing on calculus limits. Please like, comment, subscribe, and donate to my channel. My Cash App is with the $sign up front, Fantastic Baseball. Here we see a function of the limit of y approaches 9 from y minus 9 divided by the square root of y minus 3. Here we need to know some formulas of the square root of a times the square root of b is equal to the square root of ab, root base to the power, and then base to the power divides the root, and the square root of a is equal to the root being 2, and then the square root side of a. Let's get started. So the limit of y approaches 9 of y minus 9, and we need to incorporate parentheses in the numerator and denominator because there are more than one term, and we will be multiplying by two terms at a time. And when you have two terms at a time, that is considered a binomial. Binomial, it deals with two terms. So divided by the parentheses around the square root of y minus 3. So now we need to conjugate or rationalize the denominator, and that is where we flip the sign in the denominator from minus to plus. So we're going to multiply by the square root of y plus 3 to the numerator and denominator. Okay, so let's section this off so to make it easier to follow. So we're going to work with the numerator and denominator separately. So the numerator, we have y minus 9 times the square root of y plus 3 after we rationalize the denominator. And in the denominator, we have the square root of y minus 3 multiplied by the square root of y plus 3. Okay, let's section this off here. So when we FOIL or distribute, it's going to be y times the square root of y plus 3y minus 9 square root of y minus 9 times 3. And this is all in the numerator. And now we see that we can group these here. So y square root of y minus 9 square root of y plus 3y minus 9 times 3. So now we are going to factor this by grouping. So let's put our divider line here. And here we see they both have a square root of y on the left-hand side of the divider line. We can factor that out. And then we're left with y minus 9. And then on the right-hand side of the divider line, they have a 3 in common, so we can factor out a 3, and we're left with y minus 9. So y minus 9 is the greatest common factor. So it'll be y minus 9 times the square root of y plus 3. Now let's work with the denominator. So it's going to be square root of y times the square root of y plus 3 square root of y minus 3 square root of y minus 3 times 3 after we FOIL or distribute. And then we need to follow the formula of the square root of a times the square root of b is equal to the square root of ab. So square root of y times square root of y is equivalent to square root of y times y, and then plus 3 square root of y minus 3 square root of y will cancel out. So it'll be minus 3 times 3. Okay. Then the square root of y times y will break down to the square root of y squared minus 9. Then the root for the square root is a 2, as stated right there. So 2 square root of y squared minus 9. And then we utilize base to the power divides the root. So this is going to be y to the 2 divided by 2 minus 9, which equates to y to the first power minus 9. Okay. And this will further break down to y minus 9. So now we have our numerator simplified and our denominator simplified so far, and now we need to put it together. So in our numerator, we have y minus 9 times the square root of y plus 3. And you have to put the limit as y approaches 9 up front. And all this divided by y minus 9. And let's put parentheses around this. And then we notice y minus 9 will cancel out. And then we're left with the limit of y approaches 9, of the square root of y plus 3. Okay, let's have that marinate there. And now we can finally substitute 9 into the statement, because we don't want to get into a situation where it causes a function to divide by 0, which is illegal in mathematics. But here, after we've factored and canceled out a term of y minus 9, terms I should say, because there are 2 terms there, but that equates to a binomial, which can be canceled out here. So now we substitute 9 into the equation. So the limit of y approaches 9 of the square root of 9 plus 3. So the limit of y approaches 9 of the square root of 9 breaks down to 3, and then plus the other 3 will equal 6. So this answers our statement of what we were looking for. So the limit, let's go back here. So the limit of y approaches 9 from y minus 9 divided by the square root of y minus 3 will equal 6 after we work the problem out. So if you need math help, text 559-744-3169 for services. Also, please donate on the Cash App with the $sign up front, Fantastic Baseball. Thank you so much, and let's learn math together.